Okay, but we need to talk about this as well, because I'm not saying this is your situation, but it does make me think of that thing where women will use gifting occasions like holidays and birthdays as opportunities to basically fill like resourcing shortfalls in the household. So just for example, because a woman is the one who's doing the cooking, she's the one who knows that the current frying pan is old and the non-stick coating is gone and shit's sticking to it. So the process of cooking is made harder by it, and it would benefit the whole household if that piece of household equipment was replaced. It benefits the whole household to have equipment that works right, but because by default a lot of women are the ones that are actually working with that equipment to do domestic labor, then it's easy for it to end up becoming just their problem. So for a lot of women, they'll end up spending their own money, if they have it, to maintain and replace this kind of equipment, because they're the ones that are using it, and therefore they're the ones whose time is being wasted by it when it doesn't work properly, and whose lives are being made harder by it. Where a woman doesn't have her own money, she might really struggle to get the man who does have the money to see why this is important, because it's only inconveniencing her and he doesn't actually care. So a lot of women end up having to essentially lobby the man in the house who's making the money to convince him that you need a new frying pan or you need a new vacuum cleaner or something that ultimately, as far as he's concerned, is only for her. Right, in reality, replacing or upgrading a frying pan doesn't just benefit the person who typically uses it, it benefits everyone who eats the food that's made with it, and also just benefits them by virtue of having them live in a more well-equipped household, whether they actually use every piece of equipment in it or not. And when money's tight in general, it's not unusual for women to look at opportunities to get those things and make those upgrades that they wouldn't normally be able to afford as a household, like gifting occasions, when you can say, I want a frying pan. And it's not that it's wrong to do that. Those occasions are a good opportunity to get things you need and not just things that you want, and we've all done it. But I guess my point is that men don't tend to do that. Like for a lot of women, when they're asked what they want for a birthday or Christmas or some other holiday or something, a lot of the time their minds will just default to thinking about what's needed for the household, like what are the shortfalls in terms of household equipment and amenity. And it can actually be difficult for a bunch of women to come up with something that is purely selfish, just something that they will enjoy that doesn't benefit anyone else except them and only gives them pleasure. It can actually be really hard to think of that. Whereas for a lot of men, they can have a house that's just falling apart, has next to none of the basic essential stuff that's needed or in working order, not have a single towel that isn't ripped to shreds and stained to shit, and still go, oh yeah, I want a Lego set. So we're really in a double bind, because I'm not even saying that we shouldn't take the opportunity to get things that we need and that will make our lives easier. It's just that even if we decided on principle we were only going to ask for purely self-indulgent things that only serve us, we'd still be screwed, because we would have that thing, but we would still be using faulty household equipment that just makes all of that labor harder.